For cheap and reliable MT, head over to aoa.com and use coupon code JACOB for 3% off. What's going down, everybody? It's Unbeatable Jacob. I was gonna do a history of Carmelo Anthony and MyTeam, but then I thought about it. Nobody's really hyped for this set at all. So the bigger topic at hand today is gonna be the history of idols and its counterparts in NBA 2K MyTeam. In 2K19, it was the first year where we saw a set that was like what we know as idols of this year. It was the 20th anniversary set. There was 3 of them, just like there's gonna be of idols this year, and they all walked in for 1 reward card. The first set we got, the first card was Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace is my favorite player of all time, so I was actually pretty hyped for this card at the time. He couldn't shoot or anything like that, but this came out like dumb early in the game, so it wasn't that big of a deal. And then we got Allen Iverson and Michael Jordan. And then the big cards started to come. Giannis, this card has obviously got a lot of history behind it. A lot of people ran this card. He was super cheesy in 2K19 with the Euro step dunk. And also too, this card got a retro card in 2K21. Except he only plays power forward and center this year. Back in the day when this card was in 2K19, everyone ran him at point guard. Then we got Blake Griffin and Magic Johnson. These cards are both really good, and when they gave everybody a pink diamond LeBron for Christmas and then took it away from them, everybody got one of these cards. So a lot of people ran a card from these set in their lineup, even if they were just a beginner. And these 6 cards locked in for Opal Chris Paul. So this card was pretty decent at the time, like he was super juiced, but there was no position locks in 2K19, so like I would have rather ran this Giannis right here at point guard than I would have ran that Opal Chris Paul, but yeah. And then of course, like I said, we got 3 sets of these just like in the next 2 years. It's pretty much the same thing. This set had Shaq in it, pink diamond, Kevin Durant, pink diamond, Kobe, Anthony Davis, LeBron, and Larry Bird. So a lot of big names. Like they don't really put these big of names in idols anymore, it doesn't seem. We had Kobe, LeBron, Shaq, KD, Anthony Davis, and Bird. Just think about that. Those are some unreal names. And they all walked in for this Blake Griffin card. I know Blake Griffin had one in Series 1, a pink diamond, but these ones locked in for a Galaxy Opal Blake Griffin that was very good and was just an upgraded version of the pink diamond one. And then for the last set, things got real crazy. We actually got one more towards the end of the year, just like we do nowadays. And they had 4 opals with 2 pink diamonds. Kyrie and Steph for the pink diamonds. And we got Paul George, Kevin Garnett, James Harden, and Derrick Rose. But the biggest thing about this set is it locked in for what was the best card in the game at the time. And that was this Opal Shack. I know in this screenshot, it shows they're all 40 overall. That's just because they weren't updated whenever this screenshot was taken. But yeah, this Opal Shack, if you played 2K19, nothing more needs to be said. It was like one of the first centers we ever had in 2K that could like straight up dribble like a point guard. So this set was by far and large the most important version of an idol set that we've had in 2K history, to be quite honest with you. And that brings us to 2K20. This year, these cards were called Prime. It started off with Wilt, and then we got John Stockton, Tim Duncan, Derrick Rose, and Tracy Mcgrady. All of these cards were like headliners for early game squads that were qualifying for 250K, things of that nature. And this Tracy Mcgrady really stands out because this card had a ton of longevity. I mean, he was really good for the point in time he came out. He had Hall of Fame range and Hall of Fame clamps, and it's T-Mac. Of course, you know, Trey Burke base, etc., etc. He was very, very good and had a ton of longevity. And these cards all locked in for, it was Ray Allen. And Ray Allen was cool at the time that he came out, but people quickly realized that he was just not worth it at all because he was outdated very fast, being a 6'5" shooting guard in 2K20. He did get an Evo later on. This made him much better, bringing him up from 20 Hoff badges to 46. But it was just too late in the game cycle for this card to be relevant when that happened. And then for Prime 2, we also saw more of the same trend where the headliner cards were more relevant than what we have for headliner cards and idols. Kristaps Porzingis is always good in 2K. And then we got D Wade, and if you guys played 2K20, you already know D Wade was one of the best, if not the best point guard. And if it wasn't D Wade for the best point guard, it was probably Ben Simmons. So we got really good cards for the headliners in these Prime 2s. Then we had Kevin Garnett with Oscar Robertson, 38, 39 Hoff badges. And those were all really good, but what wasn't as good was the lock-in. For this one, we got Kevin Garnett, and he was decent, 44 Hoff badges and really good stats, but he just wasn't that guy last year. He just wasn't. I don't really know. His jump shots seemed pretty bad for most people last year. He had normal dribble sigs, and he just wasn't that guy. So a lot of people regretted locking that in as well. And then finally for Prime 3, we kind of had another good headliner set. Luka was not so good, but Lamar Odom was great. Paul George was really good, and Kawhi and LeBron were both very, very good. This LeBron could play the 2. They both had Pro 8, 55 Hoff badges on Braun, 51 on Kawhi, 43 on Lamar. Like, these cards were very, very good. And they walked in for Karl Malone, who I actually did the lock-in for. Why? I don't really know. I just had the cards and it was endgame, so I said why not, and like did it. But he was really good. I mean, he could play small forward at 6'9". He had 59 Hoff badges with stats like a GOAT card, so he was really good. But I think everyone who did it kind of regretted it, because shortly after this, like, more GOAT cards started coming out, and he was just a ton of MT to lock in. And now that brings us to 2K21. For Idols Series 1, we had 5 cards this year, which was the same as the Prime, 1 less than the 20th anniversary, and they started off with Manu Ginobili. This card was not very good at all, even at the time that he dropped. I remember 2K put out a tweet saying they were like gonna release something that was game breaking, and then it was Manu Ginobili, and it was very disappointing. And then we got 3 good wings back to back, which was Dominique, KD, and Grant Hill. I mean, they had like 5 to 9 Hoff badges, which obviously isn't much in the grand scheme of things, but at the time, these cards were really good. And then we got Magic Johnson, who was pretty bad, mostly because they gave him the Magic Johnson dribble style. He had the Magic Johnson dribble style, as you can see right here. His new Opal cards have quick, which makes him much more viable. So not too many people use this Magic Johnson card for real. And they walked in for Chris Webber. And everyone who did this lock pretty much regretted it shortly after, because he just wasn't all that good. They did give him a good jump shot for Kemba Walker, base and stuff like that, and pro dribble sigs. But I mean, he had 15 Hoff badges with an 87 speed and 76 perimeter defense with 83 interior. I mean, he was decent enough, but he just got outdated quickly with these 15 Hoff badges. He's just really not that guy, and a lot of people who did it regretted it shortly after. And then after that, we haven't even finished Idols 2. And that's kind of why we're talking about this video, because this set has just got no hype for it whatsoever. It's literally April 18th, the day that I'm recording this video, and nobody uses Yao. Nobody really uses Anthony Davis anymore. He was the only one that was really good for his time. Kevin Garnett and Carmelo Anthony are both like good enough cards, but they're just not the cards that people want to see in this set. For whatever reason, it's taking them forever to finish this set. And when these cards drop on Fridays, nobody even pays attention. The owner of this site, 2K Database, said that the site traffic was down like 70% from previous weeks when Idols dropped. If you go back and look at Friday drops, like this Friday drop for most people, nobody really cared at all. A week ago when we got out of positions, people were hyped. People were like really excited for the game. And now like everything's down. Just 2 weeks ago when we got Flash, people were much more excited for Wilt than they were Carmelo. And honestly, DeMar DeRozan's better than Carmelo even. And then if you go back another week before that, that was the start of the season. And we got this radioactive set, much more hype with that. If you go back again, that's when we had Idols, and that's just the down week. It's the down Fridays when we get these Idols set. So I don't really know. I don't particularly like the Idol sets. They are expensive lock-ins for cards that normally quickly become outdated. And hopefully 2K just finds a new way to go about doing these. Anyways, guys, I hope you appreciated the little retrospective Idols Prime 20th anniversary video. Yeah, that's about it. Unbeatable Jacob, and I'm out.